Hey everyone, this is Rabbitearsblog and welcome to my TV episode review series. Today's TV episode review is going to be on the third episode of Gotham called The Balloonman. Now, in this episode, there appears to be this man who's called the Balloon Man, who's like killing off all of the most corrupted cops in Gotham by tying them up to these large balloons and sending them up in the air. And there'll be times where they're dropped from the air and like go splat on the ground when they fall. And Detective Gordon and his partner Bullock are trying to solve this case to figure out who was responsible for killing off all these corrupt cops and what their purpose was. And meanwhile, we get the side story, the two side stories involving Bruce Wayne and the Penguin. And with Bruce Wayne's side of the story, we start seeing that Alfred seems to be teaching Bruce how to defend himself, and it seems like Bruce is like starting to take more interest into trying to solve these crimes that's happening around Gotham City. And with the Penguin part, well, he continues to kill many people as he goes by Gotham. It would be interesting to see if he ever gets back to Mooney's character, Jada Pinkins' character, and whether or not he's going to kill her or not. But that's pretty much the gist of this entire episode. Is Detective Gordon and Bullock are trying to discover who the Balloon Man is and stop him from killing all these corrupted cops, while Bruce Wayne and Alfred start to bond a bit more in this episode, and the Penguin still continues to kill people. I must admit that the ending of this episode was like really, really shocking to me. So I can't really tell you what happened at the end without spoiling this episode, but it's really shocking. So what are my thoughts about this episode? Well, here's some positives about this episode. Just like the second episode, I think this episode is just as good as the second episode, Selena Kyle. In this episode, we actually have another villain that this episode gave more focus on, like the Balloon Man, and I like how the show is starting to really try to develop these villains that's in Gotham. And one of my major problems I had with the pilot episode was that they were introducing all of these villains and all at one time, but they didn't develop all of them. So I'm liking how with the way the direction that Gotham is going right now is that they're trying to take all these villains and then trying to develop them in each episode. So I like the fact in the Balloon Man we got another villain, and the whole episode really focuses on the Balloon Man. And another thing I really liked about this episode, I liked how the relationship between Alfred and Bruce Wayne is starting to develop. Like probably my most favorite part in this entire episode was when Bruce Wayne and Alfred were like sword fighting. And you can see that they're starting to bond with each other, because if you saw the first two episodes of Gotham, you notice that Alfred was a little hard on Bruce, especially after Bruce's parents died. But you can see in this episode they start to bond with each other, and I really enjoyed that moment where they were playing like sword fighting with each other, and you can see that Alfred started to get more concerned with Bruce Wayne, and as he's seen that Bruce is starting to get more involved with the detective work. So I like seeing that softer side to Alfred in this episode, and I can't wait to see that relationship, that fatherly relationship that Alfred has with Bruce Wayne develop soon in this show. But I thought that was done very well in this episode, with the relationship developing between Alfred and Bruce Wayne. And then the Penguin continues to be a very interesting character. He still continues to kill people, but you can't help but wonder what he's going to do when he whatever he's going to do in Gotham. Why is he killing all these people? Who's he trying to target? It leads to a lot of mystery to his character, and that's what I really found so interesting about his character, is that the fact that they're really developing him to be the villain he becomes in the comics. So I can't wait to see how they're going to develop the Penguin into the villain he becomes in the comics, and if he's going to take down Fish Mooney and stuff like that. And I thought all the actors were perfect in this episode as usual. I liked Ben McKenzie as James Gordon. I like how Jim Gordon's still trying to do the right thing in the end, even though Gotham is still remains a corrupted city. I like how he plays the good cop to Bullock's bad cop. So that was a very interesting dynamic I see between these two characters. We see Jim Gordon being the good cop and Bullock being the bad cop. So I like that little dynamic between the characters, and I hope we continue to see more of that in the near future. So what I've been liking about Gotham so far is the fact that the first season start off with a story arc. Like I like how they're able to tie up the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents and what the Penguin's gonna do throughout these episodes, like tying it all through these 3 episodes and created some kind of story arc while each episode is still trying to tell their own little story by introducing villains or other characters to focus on the episode. Like, the second episode was mostly focused on Selena Kyle, and this episode was mostly focused on the Balloon Man, but you still have the overarching story arc about James Gordon trying to figure out who murdered Bruce's parents, and we also trying to figure out what is the Penguin trying to do as he goes through Gotham. So I like how this first season is actually trying to work up towards a story arc, and I think if as long as Gotham keeps going in this direction, like trying to tie up all those story arcs together into one episode, into an entire season, I think they're on the right step so far. So some negatives about this episode. Um, I didn't really have much of a problem with this episode, just like the second one, I didn't have much of a problem with, but yeah, it's just, I'm just getting more and more excited about what's gonna happen with these characters, and I hope we see, how these, episodes are gonna unfold in the future episodes and stuff like that. So, my, overall rating for this episode, I give it a thumbs up. I think it's another great episode, and Gotham continues to improve each episode. One of the biggest issues I had with the pilot episode was that they introduced all these villains and they didn't really, focus on any of them. But now started with the Selena Kyle episode, we're getting more villains to focus on. I like how they focus on the Balloon Man as a villain in this episode, and I like how they're trying to tie in the story arc about trying to solve the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents while the Penguin is off around Gotham doing all these nasty deeds. So I like how the show's really progressing with trying to wrap up a story arc into all this while still trying to introduce more characters from the comics into the TV series. Well, that's my review on Gotham, and be sure to follow me on Twitter so I can keep you updated any new videos I post up. And also tune in every Thursday for a new TV episode review for this year. Now I will be starting to post up TV episode reviews every Friday once Constantine comes around. So, but at the moment, tune in every Thursday for a new TV episode review, and so you can find out what happened in this week's TV episode reviews. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is Rabbitearsblog, and I'll see you later.